Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Nathan here.
It's been me right here.
Welcome to How Twin Things, guys. Leave a like, subscribe down below, comment what you want to see us, guys. And today we are gonna react to most luxurious fashion brands in the world. And let's get into the video, guys.
Yeah.
The average person attempts to dress themselves on a reasonable budget, searching for bargains at mainstream retailers. Others attempt to recycle textiles and buy their clothes secondhand at thrift stores. But for the ultra-rich, clothing is a sign of status, and luxury brands are an essential way to express wealth. From French designers to Italian imprints, we're counting down the top 10 luxury-style brands. Coach is a luxury brand founded in 1941 in New York.
It's a designer
that is
clothes,
known
you
for
know?
their distinctive
Yeah.
handbags. They were founded under the name Manhattan Leather Bags by Lillian and Miles Kahn. The founder became impressed by the design of a baseball glove, and it inspired him to create a handbag with similar attributes. Working with 6 artists, he created a collection consisting of 12 handbags. Like a baseball glove, these bags were made from high-quality leather and featured excellent stitch work and craftsmanship. Then in the 1970s, Coach decided to fill the role of the affordable luxury brand. Though their bags are not cheap, they can easily be found for around
these materials are famous in
This
Norway.
is much less than
Yeah.
many of their
$300.
competitors.
This became the leather
The price
thing,
of
no?
their goods. Now the
Back
brand is
then-
one of the
no, till
biggest
now it's
multinational
$300.
fashion imprints on the globe.
Yeah.
They have 900 stores in 20 countries and a total value of $3.2 billion. Today, Coach's corporate headquarters remains in Midtown Manhattan on 34th Street, in the location of their former factory lofts. In August 2016, the company finalized the sale and leaseback of its office condo portion of 10 Hudson Yards, its headquarters. Coach received $707 million before transaction costs. They have come a long way from emulating a baseball in the 1940s. The story begins at the corner of the Piazza Venezia in Rome in 1925,
How many
where there was a
diamonds are
small
there in
Fendi
that, you know,
boutique,
in a
and
single
next
piece?
door to it, a fur and leather workshop, owned by Edoardo and Adele Fendi. The original model of the Fendi brand was to make fur coats accessible to people of all socioeconomic classes. During the first half of the 1900s, ownership of a fur garment was a dream of many women. But following the social changes that occurred in the 60s and 70s, fur came to be seen as old-fashioned and bourgeois. Fur coats are still out of fashion, forcing Fendi to come up with another signature product. In 1965, they gained the insight and leadership of legendary fashion designer Karl Lagerfeld. Under his guidance, they released the signature baguette handbag, for which the company is now known. These bags regularly sell for $3,000 to $5,000, which helps contribute to Fendi's overall valuation of $3.6 billion. Though the company is technically a subsidiary
my.
of fashion behemoth LVMH, they are the 9th most valuable luxury
Louis
brand in
Vuitton.
their own right. This includes an annual revenue of over $1 billion.
Wow.
In 1856, Burberry was found in Basingstoke, United Kingdom, by draper Thomas Burberry. His original focus was outdoor-ready attire, stuff that was favored by Lord Kitchener and Lord Baden-Powell. He created Burberry at 21 years old, founded on the principle that clothing should be designed to protect people from the British weather. In the First World War, the Burberry trench coat was worn by British officers in the trenches. It was known as
And
the
Sherlock
Taiwan
Holmes.
and featured a belt with no buttons and protected the body from head to toe.
You
Burberry
remember,
had
right?
such a durable design
Sherlock Holmes
that
used
the
to wear
clothes
the
were
coat like
envied by
one of
armed
these.
forces everywhere, though they had an exclusive deal with the British military. Originally focusing on the development of outdoor attire, the
Yeah.
fashion house has moved into the high fashion
They had a
market,
tender with
developing a
the
unique
British
fabric
police, I
called
think so.
gabardine,
I know,
which is
like,
completely breathable and
KTM
waterproof,
and-
Hitler,
exclusively made
yes,
for the
some
brand.
kind of
Their pattern-based
just like
scarves,
this.
trench coats, and
yeah.
other fashion accessories are one of a kind. Now with almost 500 locations and a revenue of almost $3 billion, Burberry is easily one of the biggest luxury brands in the world. The brand is valued at
Saddest part is
$4.1 billion,
no,
making
the
them
person
number
who
8 on
found
our
it
list.
doesn't.
However, they
But
created
But
they
they
that
already
money, you know.
enjoyed
they
it,
burn
right?
$37 million
The person's
worth of
after
product every
enjoying that
year.
money.
This is a common practice in the fashion industry as it creates the illusion
That's
of
what
scarcity.
Lamborghini
But in a
for.
world struggling with poverty and starvation, many people question the morality of this business decision.
There are a lot more people like this, you know. Family money, they will family
Cartier
money.
has a brand value
Rothschild
of
is one of them.
$6.3 billion, making it the 7th most valuable luxury brand in the
Cartier.
world. And unlike many other brands on this
Diamonds?
list, Cartier has always been a brand
Yeah.
associated with high fashion and
Jewelry
wealthy
company,
clientele.
famous jewelry
Founded
company,
in
Cartier.
Paris in
they call it.
1847 by Louis-François Cartier, the firm came to dominate international jewelry design in the early 20th century under the
Only the
auspices of his
richest are
three
the richest
enterprising
will
sons, Louis
buy
Cartier in
those
Paris,
things.
Pierre Cartier
Oh.
in New York, and Jacques Cartier in London. Then in 1904, Cartier had the breakthrough of a lifetime. Before this, wristwatches were only for women. Wealthy men from the high society were only wearing pocket watches. But after his aviator friend complained about the struggle to
Right
use it
for
while
this?
flying, Alfred
Yeah.
Cartier had the idea of a more practical watch. This was the introduction of the male wristwatch, which has become a staple of the luxury goods market. The rest is history, and Cartier has guaranteed its status in the world of high fashion forever.
Chanel.
Inextricably linked to its eponymous muse, Chanel was formed by Pierre Wertheimer and Coco Chanel in 1909. Coco Chanel began her career in fashion by designing hats. In 1912, Chanel's first products to become popular were customized hats for the glamorous women of Deauville, France. What made them stand apart was that Chanel's hats rejected
What is
over-the-top
that camera company?
ornamentation in favor of
Which one?
simpler, minimal details, such as a
Oh,
singular
the
feather
hat
or
company.
camellia.
Yeah.
In the 1920s, Chanel took her thriving business to new heights. She launched her first perfume,
You know,
Chanel
the,
No. 5, which was the first to feature a designer's name.
what do you call it?
Perfume is the unseen, unforgettable, ultimate accessory of fashion that heralds
Britain's
your
luxurious
arrival or
family,
prolongs your
the
departure,
prince,
Chanel once
the
explained.
princess,
The Chanel product brands have been personified by male and female
UK?
fashion models,
yeah,
actors,
UK,
and
the
actresses, including Nicole
Wow.
Kidman,
royal
Emily
family.
Wallace,
They used to
Audrey
wear
Tautou,
hats.
Keira
Those
Knightley, Kristen
are all
Stewart,
from Chanel.
G-Dragon, Pharrell
Custom
Williams,
Chanel
Cara Delevingne,
hats for
Jenny
them.
Kim, and Marilyn Monroe. More than a century later, the company is far removed from Coco Chanel, but not from her vision of long-term success. The company has revenue exceeding $11 billion and an overall valuation of $7 billion, making it number 6 on our list.
Rolex.
Though
World
Rolex
famous.
is synonymous with Swiss watch design, its roots are not in Switzerland. The company got its start in England when German watchmakers Hans Wilsdorf and his brother-in-law Alfred Davis founded the watch brand Wilsdorf
London.
and Davis in 1905. Most of their pocket watches bore a W&D hallmark inside the case back. These pocket watches are extremely rare today and are typically worth a small fortune. The company moved to Geneva after World War II to avoid heavy taxation in order to pay for the costly war. Rolex established itself as a pioneering brand through a series of records. In 1910, a Rolex was the first wristwatch in the world to receive the Swiss Certificate of Chronometric Precision, granted by the official watch rating center in Bienne. In 1926, Rolex patented the first waterproof watch, its famous Oyster. Then, in 1953, the Submariner was the first diver's watch waterproof to a depth of 100 meters. That same year, Rolex reached the summit of Mount Everest with the expedition that included Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. These days, the company is doing very well for itself, with a total valuation of $7.9 billion. With 6,000
You know, a
employees
single
and a
watch
revenue
minimum
of
rate of
almost
Rolex
$5
in India
billion,
is 3 lakhs.
The company is a veritable
Which is
fashion titan.
$1,500 guys.
Mario and Marino Prada
Yeah.
founded a shop
Doesn't
called
doesn't
Fratelli
sound-
Prada
no,
in Milan
3,000
in 1913.
$2,000
The shop
I think.
specialized in artisanal leather goods, which mostly consisted of imported handbags and luggage trunks from England. It's very unlikely that the two brothers had any idea the Prada name would grow into the vast fashion empire we know today. As a family business, the Prada legacy is an interesting one. Mario Prada believes strongly that the women in
This is
his
the
family
only
shouldn't
luxurious
run the
brand I
family
never
business,
heard of.
but it was his daughter rather than his son who took over from him. This was because Mario's son had no interest in taking over the Prada business when his father died. They are now the second biggest Italian fashion brand in the world, and the second biggest overall, with numerous offerings from leather handbags, travel accessories, shoes, perfumes, and other fashion accessories. They have an annual revenue of almost $4 billion and an impressive overall valuation of $9.4 billion.
Gucci.
Guccio Gucci, founder of the Gucci brand, was the son of a leather worker in Florence. His family was extremely impoverished and struggled to cover even the most basic expenses.
Wow.
Gucci respected his father, but vowed never to live in the same squalor. As soon as he was able, he started taking odd jobs and moved all across Europe, searching for a better life. In Paris and London, he took night classes and tried to ingratiate himself into the high
He's
fashion
damn
world.
brilliant,
And
you
though
know.
it took decades,
Yeah.
he finally succeeded in
He might be
capitalizing on his
gifted
newfound
too.
skills. In the end, he used the same leather
Might be a
working
hard
abilities
worker.
that his father taught him as a child, but aimed his products at a wealthier audience, and eventually created a company that is currently valued at $12.7 billion. The history of Gucci is
that's
fraught
true.
with intrigue and crime. If Guccio Gucci was the godfather of his fashion empire, then he passed that title on to his son Rodolfo, and then his grandson, Maurizio Gucci. Maurizio was well liked and ran the business competently, but many have mentioned that it was almost impossible to do business in Italy without dealing with the mafia. The Gucci family was no exception. They interacted with the mob regularly and kept the community in harmony. Though the company claims they are law-abiding these days, it's unclear if they still have ties to organized crime. Thierry Hermes started this family business in 1837. Long before the famous scarves and Birkin bags,
Did you
Hermes
realize
was a harness
something?
maker who provided
Every
gear for
this
the houses of
branded and
royals
luxurious
throughout
goods are
Europe.
started
More than
like
100
200
years.
years, more than
Modernized the
200
family
years.
business. He
17
brought in
and
his
8,
friend
8
Louis
1700
Vuitton
sorry,
and toured
1800.
Bugatti to make trunks for cars. Emile Maurice
So
also
Just Bugatti.
diversified
He's
the
the
yeah,
owner
company
of
into
Bugatti.
furniture,
the
belts, and
before
couture.
person is
But it is
Renault's owner.
Jean-Louis Dumas, a descendant of Thierry Hermes, that is credited with turning Hermes into a global giant in luxury fashion.
Literally, this
Though
is
LVMH
generation of
attempted
work,
to
you
take
know.
over Hermes
Not
in
just
2011,
one
it has stayed
generation, like 3,
autonomous.
4,
The
5
brand has
generations
also
of hard work
succeeded
into
in
this,
expanding into the
into the
Chinese
product,
market, which has a
and to the
ravenous
company.
appetite for luxury goods. Hermes is comfortably the second most valuable luxury brand in the world, with an
That's the
astonishing
hardest thing, you
value
know.
of
One
$19.2
generation will be
billion.
stupid, another
The
generation
French
will be
company
brilliant,
makes
but
more than
stupid has
$6
to
billion
cope
How
up
much
with
money
the.
they are
year
showing
and
is
is
like
leading
number,
the race
but
and
if
expansion
you
into
have
the
it,
Chinese
think
market,
about it,
meaning it stands to grow immensely in the coming years.
Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton is debatably the most classic clothing brand in the world. It has been a staple of celebrity fashion for more than a century, with patrons ranging from Audrey Hepburn to the Empress of France. The company was founded by its namesake, Louis Vuitton, in 1854 and has quickly grown to one of the biggest brands on earth. The company operates in 50
when
countries
he
with more
founded
than 460 stores worldwide. Their bags are consistently sold for thousands of dollars apiece. Despite this prohibitive price, they have numerous customers because the company has a valuation of $28.4 billion, making it the 15th most valuable brand in the world and the most valuable fashion brand in the world. In truth, Louis Vuitton is just the core brand of fashion kingpin LVMH. The CEO of this parent company, Bernard Arnault, recently overtook Bill Gates to become the second wealthiest man on earth. However, it's worth noting that unlike Bill Gates, Arnault has not committed to donating his fortune within his lifetime. In fact, he is not renowned for philanthropy and has been criticized for Louis Vuitton's practice of burning unused merchandise to create scarcity. Regardless, he sits at the helm of the most valuable luxury style brand in the world.
It's tremendous, guys. It's tremendous, you know.
yeah.
Wow. Oh, I hope one day we have this kind of things like Louis Vuitton, Rolex.
Yeah,
What do you think, Rolex?
I'm like interested in Adidas and Puma. I think all those things are for girls, but if I want to buy, I don't like to buy Rolex. I will buy Fast Track. You know, you can't spend that
Fasttrack is a
much money.
copy of
Lot.
Rolex, you know.
I don't care.
Rolex brought
That's a
the
branded.
yeah.
I like Fast Track. I don't know why
Okay.
all those designs in Fast Track are nice for me. I look like I like silver brand watches. That's what I wanna mean.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Give a big thumbs up and comment down below what you wanna react, and see you guys in another video. Bye.